Hmm.
Andrew, how did that game go? How was your first kind of taste of playing for Nebraska and that experience?
Oh, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I always heard about the fans, and when I got out there in front of them, and it was even better to play in front of them. So I thought it went pretty well. Definitely some things we can clean up, but that just comes with it, the first game of the year. So I thought it went pretty well. Obviously, some things we can work on, but nothing we can't fix.
How confident were you just leading up that you'd be able to play? I think Fred said you got cleared the morning of. How sure were you that you were going to be able to be out there?
Yeah, I was pretty confident going in a couple of days before that because I was feeling pretty good. And the last two steps of the process were really just live drills you have in practice. So I knew if I got those two practices out of the way, I would be just fine. And then I was feeling good going into it, and then going into the game. And when I got into the game, I felt just fine, like my normal self. So it was good.
Connor posted the video of how bad your concussion.
Yeah.
How bad were you? I mean, were you in pretty rough shape there for a while?
Yeah. So it happened, and then I got double whiplashed into the back of the underneath the hoop, and that didn't feel good at all. And then I remember it hit, and then I couldn't open my eyes for like I don't know. It felt like forever because I was trying to fight to get them open, but I couldn't get my eyes open there for a little bit. And then me being me, I insisted that I was fine, and then our trainer must have known right away that I wasn't that good. Apparently, I was weaving back and forth when we were walking back to the training room, so I was pretty shook up there for a little bit, but we came back from it.
How much did that time off, just like impact your conditioning, just not being able to do anything, like just getting back into game shape and then jumping right back into it?
Yeah, it's especially tough because I was feeling like I was in a pretty good game shape right away, right after the Utah scrimmage. I felt like I was sitting in a pretty good place, and then taking those weeks off. I mean, we do as many conditioning drills as we can while I'm off, but nothing can really translate to game contact, speed, and that conditioning of it. So, I mean, definitely the game on Monday was a wake up call for me. So, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I definitely got a feeling that I was out for a little bit when I was in the game for a while. So I think we've been working on that a lot this week and just getting back into game shape and doing a lot of more up and down drills. So it's helped a lot.
What were you able to do in practice as you kind of ramp things back up?
From the concussion,
Yeah,
mostly we did a lot of. So it started out we only went to a certain amount of workload I could do. I mostly did a lot of post drills and a lot of running up and down. Nothing really too crazy right away, and then we did a lot of full court, just one on zero stuff, and that worked a lot for me. And then trying to keep my conditioning up a little bit, and then towards the end we did 5-on-0 a lot, so I had other people out there, and then we went 5-on-5 to just get me back into it a little bit. So yeah.
How's that dynamic of the front court, especially at the five spot, gone so far when you have three players that do such different things? I guess how have you maybe helped each other grow, and then I guess how's the approach to rotation when it can be a different guy in the game depending on the matchup?
I mean, it's really nice because we all get along with each other. We all like to see each other succeed. So, like when we have BK in there and BK's out there doing his thing, BK's more of a passer. He's a fast first type of guy, and he's one of those guys that you like to play around. But he's a different player than like playing with Braxton, a different player than like playing with me too. So I feel like it also helps our guards out a little bit. They can, like when we have BK in there, he's more of a stretcher. Like he can stretch the floor, so that helps our team a lot. And I think just having a guy like Braxton in there too, he's just a force on defense. He can guard the rim. You can't get around him. So having him in there as a defensive presence as well, I mean, makes everybody kind of just feel better when they're on the defensive end as well because they know you have that big anchor back there behind you. So, I mean, I feel like we just got a very well rounded out group of guys that like can do a lot of different things.
Do you think going against Braxton in practice is going to prepare you for what you're going to see in Big Ten?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Braxton is one of the biggest players I've ever played against, and I've played college for 3 years. So, yeah, I think he's doing it. It helps so much seeing him in practice and going against how physical he is and how like big he is and how much he alters shots. So, that's something that's really helped me a lot too.
what have been the adjustments for you coming from North Dakota State? Now you're at a Big Ten program. Just what's that transition been like? What's been different?
I'd say the main thing is just the speed of the game. The speed's a lot different The physicality, I think, is about the same, or I've always been used to that type of physicality, but it's definitely the speed and making the reads quicker. You're seeing a lot. I'm used to seeing the length. I'm used to seeing guys with speed, but it's the guys that are with length and speed that are cutting at you at the same time, and they like to bother you with the ball. A lot of ball pressure is something that I've seen a lot of, and guys that are very aggressive finishers at the rim. I didn't usually see that a lot. I usually saw guys that would kind of just fall off you when they ran into the rim, and these guys that I've played so far are just very aggressive when they come towards the rim. So that's been a change for me, seeing that. And then, I mean, not a lot, but it's just like the little tiny details, things that are a lot different that you just need to kind of switch or focus on.
Hey, Andrew, we've seen what you can do in the post game, but perimeter-wise, like how much do you do that in practice, and do you think we'll see some of that during games?
I shoot a decent amount in practice. That it's whether or not I feel where I have the matchup at. Usually I like to see if I have a guy that I feel like I'm bigger than, stronger than, I want to take him right in the post because I know I can score 9 times out of 10 down there. And then if I take him out on the perimeter, I usually like hopefully it's a bigger, slower guy that I can get a shot up over. So, I mean, I haven't seen that yet, and I was kind of just working towards my strengths in that game. And I was going to something, especially coming off of the concussion, I wanted to go something right back to where I was used to, which was right on the block. So, yeah, you'll definitely see more of me on the outside, but for that game, it was mostly me just kind of going back to my roots a little bit.
How much did that help early on? You're kind of getting in the flow of things, and you're able to just get in, score right away, get going on the post.
Yeah, seeing the ball going right away definitely was helpful. It kind of just relieved some of that pressure that was in, even though I didn't really have that much, there was still a little. It relieved it a little bit, and then just kind of let me settle in right away that, like, all right, I'm playing basketball again. You know, this is what I've done for the past 3 years. So it really helped me refocus again. It really helped.
How much is the variety of opponents you guys have faced through the preseason and then into the opener, just the different contrasting styles that you've had to especially guard? How much has that just kind of benefited you guys in just adjusting to pretty much everything?
I think it's helped a lot. I mean, we've had Utah. We played. They were a big team. They were a very big team, and they were physical. And then the team we just played, Texas Rio Grande Valley. I mean, they just put up a fight with Creighton last night, and you can see why we were a little worried going into that game. I mean, they were physical. They were a crash all team. They really tested our box outs, which is what we've been working on this week. So, I mean, just helping. Both teams we played have exploited some things that we didn't really know were that big of problems, but then when we play them, we see that there are some problems there, and I mean, it definitely helped us zone in on those, and once we've zoned on in those little details, we feel like we're getting a lot better so far.
What sticks out to Bethune-Cookman?
For what?
What sticks out about Bethune-Cookman?
Bethune-Cookman? A lot is they don't really seem like they have a lot of rules. They kind of go around and they play their style. I mean, they have a lot of good players on their team, but they seem a little independent, which is early in the year, which you tend to see a lot. So, I mean, it seems like they're independent, but they're a very fast transitioning team. They're in transition all the time, and that's where they get most of their offense. So I think stopping their transition offense is a big part of us in that game.
Your coach talks about developing a killer mentality when you're up 15, taking the thing to 25. I guess, what does that mean to you? What does having a killer mentality?
I mean, it's really just not letting off the aggression that you had from the start. I think, for me, I think it's something that you can't stop and relax just because you see that you're up by 12, which is what happened to us a little bit in the Grand Valley game. They were coming back, and we were a little relaxed, and they snapped right back at us. So that's something that we definitely saw that game too. So that's something we've been cleaning up. It's 40 minutes. You play all 40 minutes hard. So we have enough guys on our team. We have a really deep teams that can play. So if you get tired, you can kind of come out. But the one thing we can't do is let off the gas, and that's something that I think we will be a lot better at.
Anything else, Ranger? Thank you.
Thank you.